Hi there, Karen Flaherty here. Hope you're doing well today. Today's Human Design Weather is all about the gate 56, which is typically called the Wanderer or the Seeker. Okay, so with the sun in gate 56, which started on July 18th in the evening, and it's going to run until July 24th, we've got the 56 coming off the top of the throat center right here, right next to this 2343, which remains until July 31st. So just a few more days with this 2343 in the nodes, and then that'll be going away. The 60 Gate 60 is coming off the top of the root center. That's down here. This is the gate of evolution and growth. And I'll just mention there are a few planets that are retrograde right now. We've got Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all retrograde. So in other words, with the 2343, it should again be a relatively quiet week in terms of the transits and unless they match up with a few of yours. So the gate 56 is called the Wanderer or the Seeker. It's also called stimulation in the original I Ching, because this is all about, it's the energy of looking, of finding. It's curiosity. It's the entire channel is curiosity. That's with the gate 11, which is the gate of ideas. But then when you add the Seeker, what you get is this whole channel of curiosity. So it's the stability through movement, the perpetuation of continuity through the linking of short-term activity. It's like be the seeker, not the knower. And so just keep asking the questions, right? Be the curious one, be the seeker, be the wanderer, and keep looking. So the incarnation crosses this week are the cross of laws, stimulation, and distraction. And then in the gate 60, this is called limitation, actually, but it's limitation or acceptance in the original I Ching. It's the acceptance of limitation is the first step in transcendence, right? So this is one of those ones that's a little backward in terms of, or, it's not what you expect when you hear the word that goes with it in terms of limitation. To me, it's really all about evolution and growth. So you accept the limitation of where you are and realize, I guess it's a bit of an ego thing too, or a pressure thing, since it's coming off the root, that you're pressured to, because you realize that you're limited, that we're all limited, right, to some extent, that we're then able to evolve and grow, right, and seek out new things. So these work nicely together, because the seeker is also being pressured by the 60 from the root center to evolve and grow. So in the Gene Keys, limitation is the shadow, realism is the gift, and justice is the CD. So this in the Gene Key 56, we've got the shadow is distraction, the gift is enrichment, and the CD is intoxication. So it's easy to be distracted when we're seeking, right? There are so many different things, especially these days, right? That there are so many different ways that we can be distracted through entertainment or sports or, movies or, whatever it is that distracts you, right? And all of these things can distract us. The gift is enrichment when we're able to take the distractions, figure out what it is that really appeals to us and narrow it down to maybe just a few topics, right? As opposed to being distracted by the many things that can distract us, narrow it down to a few things so that it can bring you enrichment and then eventually intoxication, because, we all know people who are just, especially if you're in, kind of the evolutionary or growth or spiritual world, as I am, we kind of get intoxicated with the idea of finding and creating and becoming and seeking, right? It's very intoxicating to keep finding things, to keep growing, and to keep just kind of knowing that there's more out there, right? It's never ending. And I think that's what leads to some of the intoxication. So in the graphic, he says the true enjoyment is rooted inside your being rather than in the external. It's that intoxication that is inside of us that allows us to be enamored, really, to kind of fall in love with whatever topic it is we're seeking more information on. and learning more and more. He also says, in the modern world, we appear almost desperate to distract ourselves from who we really are. Again, this is the shadow side, but this is the side where we're not comfortable with who we are. And so we're willing to distract ourselves. We actually prefer to distract ourselves because that's not having to deal with the reality of what's going on. And so we might have that 56 in our energy this week, or we might have it in our charts. A lot of people do, but on the shadow side, it can definitely be distracting. It can be something that leads to a lot of distraction and a lot of, kind of tumultuous activity. This next quote is actually what's on the graphic, but it says, the 56th gift knows a great truth. True enjoyment is rooted inside your being rather than in the external. And then finally, he says, true entertainment involves laughter, inspiration, wonder, and ultimately intoxication. And so that's kind of a cool description of entertainment. So, number of personalities born this week in the Sun Gate 56, including the comedian Robin Williams, who's passed, Ernest Hemingway, the writer, Gisele Bündchen, the model and wife of Tom Brady, Prince George, the littlest guy, Albert Brooks, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jennifer Lopez, who we'll be talking about, Woody Harrelson, Daniel Radcliffe, the actor, Anna Paquin, Dr. Charles Mayo, who originally started the Mayo Clinic in the Midwest, and Sir Edmund Hillary, obviously a seeker, right? Sorry, who was the first to go to the North Pole. Definitely somebody who was seeking. So we're going to talk about Jennifer Lopez a little bit. She did get an award just a few weeks ago at the MTV Awards, and was born on July 24th, 1969 in New York City. She is a manifesting generator with a 6'2" profile, and she's got the left angle cross of distraction. So it's that, what we consider distraction in terms of the shadow side, but it can obviously be the gift or the CD as well. She is considered to be a singer, actress, fashion designer, dancer, really she's a pop cultural icon, in case you haven't heard. And but she's also very much a businesswoman. She's a activist. She's been profiled many times and gotten awards, and has been named to be the influential women, influential Hispanic women, and many other lists like that. She has been in many movies. I was actually surprised at the filmography that she had. It's something over 30 movies that have garnered over $3 billion in revenues, and also has sold over 70 million records. So while she is a pop cultural icon, she's also very, very successful at what she's done. She has had her ups and downs, but she's mainly successful and very on top of her game. What's interesting about her chart is that, what's interesting about her chart and why I mentioned the money in particular is that she has the entire money line from the throat to the will center, completely open head and ajna. Just a few gates here: mindset, rationalization, and that 56, which is the seeker and the wanderer, right? But she's also got the 4521 channel, which is called the channel of the money line, with this connected to this will center, which is what makes her a manifesting generator. And then separately, she has, because she has a split definition, she has the G center connected to the sacral and down to the root. The root has the 360, that 60 is the gate of evolution and growth. And then the 214 is all about money also. So the 14 is about making the money, and the 2 is about knowing how to save and spend it. It's the allocation of resources. So I'd say she's been very competent and very successful in that way. She's also got the gate 31, which is all about influence. When she does speak, it's influential. She's got the 22, which is all charm and grace. and it's connected to an open solar plexus. So she's not emotional. She may seem it sometimes, but I would suggest that she's taking in the emotions of the people around her. And she's, so that charming grace is there all the time. That's what's interesting when people have this and it's connected to an open solar plexus. The charming grace for people who are emotional goes up and down with their wave, right? But she's not emotional. She's pretty even keeled and pretty level-headed businesswoman and performer. And the 22 is always there, the charming grace, as is the 6, which is the gate of the warrior, or the, I also call it the goddess princess. It's a very nurturing and defensive kind of energy in terms of taking care of family and children. And she does all that. She's also got the gate 5, which is all about rhythms and patterns. And so for her, the more she can stay in and anyone can stay in a pattern of eating and sleeping and exercise that works for you, the better, all the better. And I think she's proven that. She's someone who is very strict about her diet. She's very strict about sleeping and her exercise routine. And we've, if you've read anything about her, you've probably noticed that. And so she looks great she's be turning 53 this week. And she looks great for 53 and is always lauded for the way she looks. She's also got the gate 34, which is all about multitasking, and I'm sure she's very good at that. 27, responsibility. So, she has 2 children. She's had a few husbands and is now engaged to Ben Affleck, but responsibility is important to her, probably as well, not just for family and friends, but for community as well. And then she's got the gate 28, which is the gate of struggle. And with this 28, in quantum human design, they're calling it the gate of adventure. She's had some adventures, but she's also had some struggles, and she's had some, some flops, some failures, but she's always risen again. She's always come back. She also has the gate 53, which we talked about, I think, last week, which is the gate of beginnings, starting new projects. And so it seems as if she's, with the number of records, the number of films, and the number of awards she's won. I mean, it's the numbers. There was actually a separate page for her list of awards because it's so many. It's something like 400. Or she was nominated for 400 and she won 200 or something like that. It's crazy numbers when it comes to awards that she's collected. So, she does have the 6-2 profile, which is interesting in a generator, manifesting generator. She does have the 6, which is the role model. So after 50 now, she's becoming a role model. She's becoming someone that people can turn to. Other probably, I'm sure, actresses and singers and dancers all turn to her for advice, I'm sure. But she's got the 2 in her unconscious profile. And so this is the hermit. And this is somebody who will be called out to, go out or party or whatever she's up to. But really and I think I saw an article recently where it said on a Saturday night, she'd rather just be in the, in a bubble bath, right? By herself with some candles. And that's a hermit. She's not out partying. She takes good care of herself, but she's not the partier that she used to be. And I don't know that she ever was. She's been a hard worker and she's worked hard all her life. So she's got an interesting chart in that she does have that open-headed ajna, very creative, very flowing, very mutable. As I've said before, open solar plexus and open spleen. And just the one gate off here. And this usually is finished, let's call it, by the age of 40. By the age of 40, you know what's worth fighting for, and you pretty much get your sea legs by 40, even with the gate of struggle. As a fear gate, it's the fear of that life has no meaning or that life has no purpose. And so depending on what gate it's or what line it's in, hers happens to be in the line 2, and I think that's the only place she has it. Yeah. So she's got it in the line too. So it's the Hermit. She probably was just very quiet while she was trying to figure life out. But once you figure life out and you find your purpose, as she did with her singing and acting and dancing, she really couldn't be stopped. So it's a great chart, and happy to share that with you. Happy birthday, Jennifer. And I hope this week that you're able to find some things that you're seeking, figure out what it is you're looking for, spend a little time with it, perhaps read a book, get a documentary. If you're watching this, you're probably seeking other things as well. So, maybe get a book on human design or something else that lights you up. Whatever it is that lights you up, go pursue it because it wants you to. So have a great week, and I'll look forward to speaking to you next time. Be well.